안녕하세요 여러분, Nederlande에서 온 바트입니다. Today we are going to Hongje-dong, a neighborhood in the Seodaemun District of Seoul. And I'm really looking forward to explore this neighborhood, guys, because it has a somewhat forgotten moon village shantytown right here at Inwang Mountain. It has a brutalist apartment building with a Cold War secret that not many people know of. And overall you can feel Seoul's 50s, 60s and 70s still. But not for long, because soon that all is gonna disappear. So let's go and explore. While I cycle to Hongje-dong, which I don't recommend, you could take subway line 3 and get off at Muakjae or Hongje station. From there, you will see that Hongje lies just behind two beautiful mountains, Inwang Mountain and Ansan, with Hongje stream serving as its natural northern border. And I can't believe I'm about to explore neighborhood 111 out of 467 already. So I'd appreciate it if you like the video, leave a comment and subscribe to the channel to join me on this challenge. Don't just nothing. We made it, guys, we made it. We're almost to Hongje-dong. Right here, I'm standing right in the middle of Muakjae. On that side we have Ansan, on that side we have Inwang Mountain. And you have to go through both mountains to enter Hongje-dong, Seodaemun District. I wish I could show you the view, but they made part of the bridge accessible to animals so they can cross from one mountain to another. Always great to see that. Geographically, you don't accidentally end up in Hongje-dong. If you go to Hongje-dong, it's because you have a plan. It's only because of the subway stations or because of the subway lines, because they go underground and ignore most of the geographical barriers, that you can go to Hongje quite easily. Please ignore the mustache, guys. I wanted to try a new style because I'm bald. I was like, what else can I do with this? Okay, maybe just shave the beard and leave the mustache. Not sure what I think about it yet, whether it's a keeper or not. Well, maybe I'll let you guys decide. Hey, we found something. I found an old stone marker, Muakjae. That's the pass between Inwang Mountain and Ansan. Back in the days, envoys, aristocrats, royals, lower class people would travel through this pass. And what I also like about this is that here at the bottom, see two makgeolli bottles. That means that people come to this spot and pray maybe to the mountain gods. Back in the days, they would sometimes hold shamanic rituals to pray for a safe journey for those who would pass through here. Today, many shamanic activities still happen around these mountains. These makgeolli offerings are a good example, but why here and to whom or for what remains a mystery to me. And we're now rolling into Hongje-dong, and trust me guys, it's getting better than a mustache. I want to show you a marker, a stone marker. Usually I'm not so looking forward to showing you any markers because there are hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of markers in Seoul. But this one is necessary to pay a visit in order to understand Hongje-dong. Before the real fun starts, I must show you another marker. One that will explain the name Hongje and also what this place was during Korea's last kingdom period. But as always, I was distracted by something else, an abandoned part of Hongje. A short distraction. I saw this area completely abandoned, ready for another redevelopment project. Time after time, neighborhood after neighborhood, I find these kind of places where people have gone to other neighborhoods, other cities in order for the government to redevelop. There's a reason why I don't want to show you in every single neighborhood, because I find it almost in every single neighborhood, because it's basically the same story. But also here in Hongje-dong, things will change, and they will change quickly. It's just how the city works. It's always redeveloping. I found it, guys, the stone marker. Somewhere along Dongyeodo, there's a stone marker that says Hongje-won. This, during the Joseon dynasty, used to be Hongje-won, a place where mostly Chinese envoys, but also other travelers, would stop before they entered Hanyang, Old Seoul, or where they would stop when they exit the city, before they start a long journey up north. He had several places like that around the old city wall. Another one was Itaewon. I almost forgot to explain that Hongje means white relief, or something similar. Exactly what Hongje-won was intended to do. I love finding these Easter eggs, guys, because it tells you a little bit more about the neighborhood, gives you a little bit more context, a little bit more information, and on top of that, it triggers your imagination, at least my imagination. Because what I was thinking first when I saw the stone, it's like, why would a Chinese envoy, when they leave Hanyang, Old Seoul, immediately stop after they exit the old city walls. Why? But yeah, of course, now with my bicycle, with a car, with the subway, things don't feel that far anymore. But back in the days when the Muakjae Pass was rough, dangerous, a lot of climbing, bad roads, it took you hours and hours to get from one point to another. So they needed these rest points right outside of the city wall. We just started, seriously, we just started. I have a few other places that you may find more interesting. 혹시 아직도 여기 안산 맨션에서 사람 살고 있습니까?
사람 안 살아요.
다 나가서요?
다 나갔어요. 철거 다 해요.
언제 제가 재개발?
글쎄 모르겠어요. 이게 성당이 나가야 돼.
네.
성당이 이사를 가야 다 할 것 같아.
좋은 하루세요. So Hongje-dong in the 70s, post-war, was an urban housing experimental area, so to say. They've built many different styles of apartment blocks, and Ansan Mansion was one of those, like more luxury apartments. That's why it's called mansion. And it's abandoned, it's vacant. So here also they will start redevelopment. And what I love about this construction is that there's a really old Muakjae chimney next to it. Even better, guys, you can experience Seoul in the late 60s here, also vacant, but here we have Inwang apartments from 1968. So early 70s, late 60s Seoul. That vibe, if you want to feel that, if you want to see that, if you're into architecture, then come here before it's too late, because as you can see, you can't enter this one anymore. And also Ansan Mansion is now empty. One thing I love about the city is that sometimes you have really unexpected events. A few months ago, here at Inwang Apartments, they held a punk rock concert. You can see the videos online, and they used those balconies as stages. So 1, 2, 3, 4 were inside Ansan Mansion. And Ansan Mansion has a really unique courtyard. The way it's shaped, the way it creates this community space right in the middle. What a wonderful cluster of Hongje's early apartment network. The oldest is Inwang Aparte, 1968. One of Seoul's first small-scale apartments. Ansan Mansion, 1972, was a luxury establishment where many celebrities resided. And then we have Inwang Palace Aparte, 1974. That's Seoul, 1960s, 1970s for you, but abandoned. Well, later I will show you also a 1970s Seoul that is very much not abandoned. I promise you guys in a community post that I would recommend more restaurants when I visit neighborhoods. Well, since I'm exploring during the day, not everything is open. This one, as I was recommended a lot in vlogs online, is closed now, but I have another place in mind because I can't do 5 to 10 restaurants, but I can do 1 or 2 every single video. There's a small area west of Hongje Station where I could see early signs of gentrification, including newer bars, cafes and restaurants. Nothing over the top yet, just a more youthful vibe. If that's what you're into, I thought you should know. 근데 홍제동 좋아요.
홍제동까지 알고.
네.
서울 사람 다 됐네.
저는 서울 잘 알아요.
아니 멋지구만. 아니 저기 한국 온 지가 오래됐나 봐.
7년 됐습니다. 아이고. 오래되지 않아요.
아이고 이제 한국 사람 다 됐어요.
아니에요.
잘생겼어. 키도 크고. 아이고.
반갑습니다.
진짜 멋지네.
아니에요. 오늘 수염 면도
아 이뻐.
했지만 조금 별로요.
안 깎아도 돼.
아니 별로요.
아 멋지네.
근데 옛날 여기도 군인
네 분이.
이유 네 탱크도 놓고
옛날에는
네.
여기 박정희 시절이야 그게.
예.
오래됐어. 이게 진지가 몇십 년 됐어.
네.
요 뒤에가 이제 탱크짜리야.
맞아요.
요 뒤로 이렇게 쫙 이게 탱크를 하고 이게 한 거란 말이야.
그리고 북한 오면
네.
이거 건물 들어요.
그렇지. 여기가 다 그거요.
아 너무 신기해요.
아 근데 멋지 그것도 알고.
제 서울 역사 관심이 많아요.
아,
서울 70대 모습 맞죠?
그렇지.
네.
맞아.
거의 없어졌어요.
네.
네.
알았고 그 서울 사람 사람보다 더 잘 알아 어떻게?
아니에요, 아니에요. 저 마트입니다.
아유 참 아주 그냥.
네, 반갑습니다.
나도 반가워.
네네네. 좋은 하루 되세요. 예. 자전거 잘뭐 해주세요. Eugene Mansion. The whole reason I came here, because again, Seoul 70s motif. This apartment, when it was built in 1970, had a multi-purpose. First of all, it was apartments for the wealthier people of the city. Again, like the other apartments that we saw earlier. But also, it had a whole commercial section underneath. It still has, but it also had a Cold War secret function, a military function. This building is right next to Hongje-dong, and that is a road that leads from North Korea directly to Seoul. So in case of an attack and tanks would come into the, or want to come into the city, you see those pillars? They were made so tanks could park in between those pillars and shoot at North Korean military. Talking about a multi-purpose building, that's one for you, and I think it's really interesting to visit, not only because of the history, because also it is still an old, very active neighborhood. And I didn't even mention what's down here in the basement, but that's for later. First, let me show you the building from a distance. So imagine, guys, you live here, and then you're suddenly asked to evacuate. Tanks will roll up and park in between the pillars over there, shooting at North Korean military coming from the northwest. There are a few more places in the city like this, but this is one of them, and it still stands. It's a fascinating story. Now let's have a look inside. So the Eugene Mansion, or Eugene Apartments, they have their own square on the middle rooftop, so to say. And there's art, there's a swing, and believe it or not, they have their own outdoor gym. Only in Korea you will find things like this. Something else you will only find in Korea. People grow their gardens in big boxes, plant pots, veggies, flowers. Creates this really nice atmosphere. It's just wonderful to walk here through an urban architectural piece of history. Brutalist construction, which many people may find a bit ugly, but honestly, I have a weakness for brutalist architecture. If you're a little like me, you will be into this. So after watching this video and you didn't know about this place, you probably jump on a bike, take a bus, take a taxi, and come here to check it out. I made it to the 5th floor, and I love how the apartment at the end of the hallway uses the hallway as a space to enjoy and store stuff, table, maybe have a drink or a smoke, because he wouldn't interrupt anyone else, right? He's at the end of the hallway, so he can claim that space. The conditions are not too great. It's very humid. A lot of rain just rains in or drips in. And you can see it has an impact on the walls. But yeah, what do you expect? A building from 1970. Found the old Yujin Mansion entrance, Ibgu, hidden behind a lot of fruit and vegetable stores. It's a kind of sign that you want to keep when they're gonna demolish this whole thing. I'm sorry guys, bad preparations from my end. Inwang Mountain is closed on Sunday. Nothing is open. And I wanted to show you this. A market from 1968 was established in 1968. Somehow I thought that markets would be open on Sunday. I don't know why. I was thinking that. So when I first came to Korea, I was so surprised to see everyone so hyped up about cats on the street. Whenever they see a cat, they're like, oh, come here, cutie, kitten, and all of that. I told myself, never will do that. But here I am, greeting kittens at the market. 그거도 그 뭐지? 이름이 뭐라요? 와리고추? 이거 반찬처럼 그쵸? 네네네. 그거도 주세요. It's such a cool place because usually markets just like one street like this, one street like this. It's like one big open space. Basically nothing has changed, including the people. Demographics are a bit older, but that makes it really feel like you walk through 70s Seoul. And then when the market is open, this area is and will be so fun to explore.
The market that started in the late 1960s, early 1970s, feels like it survived the test of time and resisted any form of redevelopment. It's a vibe, I can tell you that.
I came to the Hongje-dong. It's a natural border of Hongje-dong. This is one of my favorite streams in the city. It is so peaceful. The facilities are great. It's a beautiful scenic route to cycle. There is an artificial waterfall on the way. And something else which is right underneath Yujin Mansion building. Quite hidden. If you know, you know, but if not, then you would have never guessed there is something so cool underneath the building. Can you believe it? We're right underneath Eugene Mansion. And there you can find Yujin. I will show you what you have to do to get there. We're in the monsoon season. There's a lot of water. I have to take off my shoes. Ooh, that is powerful water, guys, and it is slippery. Yeah, Mosita, guys. Mosita. Look at that. Cool, isn't it? You can cross this stone bridge, and then they made a little platform here to give you the best view into the light tunnel.
Hongje-dong is an exhibition stage for artists who present new forms of public art, while preserving the original form of the space as much as possible. They did a good job. This mystical piece is called Warmth, referring to the warmth of past people who gathered here and used the stream as a laundry place. I really enjoyed this fresh breath of air underneath a block of concrete. Well done.
Now I can hear you guys saying, Bart, why didn't you cover the artificial waterfall, the Hongje waterfall, as some people refer to it? That's because it's technically in Hongje-dong, which is the neighborhood on the other side. So you gotta be patient, guys. I would recommend you one place to eat, to drink. This is the place. Changto Sundeguk. An oldie and closed. Shit. 여기 네 유튜브예요. 오늘 홍제동 소개하고 있어요.
아 그래요?
네 여기 먹으러 왔는데.
네. 우리 가게도 홍보해줘요.
You see the storefront. You just want to go inside, right? It's 41 years old. But lucky me, I found a different place. And it looks hell of a cute. Let's check it out. 안녕하세요.
어서 오세요.
건물 너무 귀여워요.
대한민국에서 제일 작은 가게예요.
아 그래요?
네, 조그만 가게.
오,
정이 넘치는 가게. 우리 집은 어떻게 알고 오셨어?
그냥 지나가서 갑자기
아,
그 건물 뭐인지 궁금해서요.
어떤 거 좋아하셔?
숙주볶음 우동. 저는 유명한 방송 아니고
난 그런 걸
네
좋아해.
개인 관심.
아, 오케이.
제가 유튜브에서 서울의 모든 동네 하나씩 탐험하고 있어요. So guys, I also have kongguk soup, which is usually my favorite food, but I saw it too late. I will just eat sukchu bokum udon. It's okay, try something new. If you see this house from outside, you just want to go inside. It has that kind of vibe. Apparently really popular among foreigners, he said. They found it on Google.
이거 콩국물은 다른 데랑은 좀 틀려. 이거 국물은 이 집에서만 나오는 국물.
저는 kongguksu 먹을 때 면 대신에 국물 제일 맛있어요. 그래서 감사합니다. 좋아요.
For our final stop, I'd like to suggest taking Maalbusse 07. You haven't experienced Korea if you haven't taken a village bus.
안녕하세요.
It's like the city roller coaster, one where people still greet each other and where people thank the bus driver. In the 10 minutes I was in this bus, everyone seemed to know each other, and it felt good to see.
네, 수고하세요. This is it. This is the place I wanted to bring you to. We made it all the way to the top of 개미마을, or ant village, a village that was established by people after the Korean War. Refugees, displaced people, they needed to find a spot in Seoul where they could build a new home. And these places are better known as Daldongne, or moon villages, because they were built up on the hill closer to the moon. In English, people would translate it to shanty. I find it a bit, I don't know, misleading, because when you walk around, yes, conditions are a lot harder than many of the other places in the city, but now after so many years, conditions have improved, and I don't think it's fair to call it a shanty anymore.
I can appreciate the name Ant Village, which is derived from the hardworking people here.
First impression is that this little village is really well kept. Really well kept. Everything looks tidy, looks neat, it looks clean. Every house has their own like little garden and nice decorations. You can see many of the houses, they have murals. Some look old, some look rather new. Hard to tell. What I read online is that most of the murals were done in 2009, 2010 to revive the area, to give it a makeover in order to attract also more tourism.
From here, you can also easily start hiking up Inwang Mountain.
I wouldn't compare this necessarily with Guryongmao, the moon village in Gangnam, because if you go there, you clearly see and feel, well, that's more like a shanty town. People live in worse conditions. And when you walk around here, it just somehow feels more like a peaceful countryside village. Well, don't get me wrong, these places are incredibly steep. No elevators, no escalators, only bus number 7 that can bring you up and down. But that's from the main road. So if you live up here, you can guess most of the people living up there are of a certain age and they have to go up and down. Now, if you want to go to groceries, meet people, get out of their home, because that's another thing. There are no shops here. So the nearest Pyeongjong is all the way down there. Those are just a few of the inconveniences of living here.
Until now, all neighborhoods at the foot of a mountain haven't disappointed, nor has Hongje-dong. The walk through Seoul's 1970s around Yujin Mansion was my highlight. A defensive structure, underground public media art and a unique market. When it comes to change, danger was once expected from the north, hence Eugene Mansion. Now it's from within, as plans are made to redevelop big chunks of Hongje, giving it a new makeover. Eugene won't be no exception, eventually. Good or bad, it's a matter of perspective. But the way I see Hongje-dong is that just as Eugene once defended Seoul, today it defends Seoul's past.
I can feel the dong fire again. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any place you would like to recommend. Thank you for watching. See you in the next neighborhood. Houdoe.